Taylor and Travis at a wedding, Sabrina Carpenter's new album, and season 2 of Tires. That's what we'll cover on today's entertainment-based episode of the Flame Entertainment and Sports. All right, guys, so to start off this entertainment-based episode of the Flame Entertainment and Sports, we're going to start off by talking about Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce as they were spotted at a wedding this past weekend in Knoxville, Tennessee, after many, people at that wedding posted pictures of them. And I want to say congratulations to the couple that got married, Tanner Corum and Samantha Corum. Tanner is a cousin of Travis, so it was a family wedding for Travis. And, my favorite part about it, seeing all the pictures, videos, and everything, was seeing like Taylor with Travis in that family setting. I found it so cool. You saw so many pictures of her like interacting with all his family members, and you could tell that she gets along with all of them so good. And something I've loved about this, relationship between Taylor and Travis is that we've seen things that are kind of uncharacteristic in terms of Taylor's past relationships. Like, I feel like most of her relationships in the past were pretty much private. This one is still private to an extent, but I love that we kind of see her being more open and, not hiding. It seems like that she's like in a good place and she's like happy enough that she's fine with like the world seeing her in more of a private type of setting. And in this case, that being a wedding of a family member of Travis. And yeah, for all those of you who liked, commented, shared, whatever it may be, any of our posts, I appreciate it. We posted a couple different pictures and reels from the wedding on Instagram and TikTok at the flame_ES. If you haven't checked them out already, make sure to go check them out. As always, I gave credit to the original posters of the pictures and videos. And yeah, we posted multiple things there from that wedding. But yeah, I just thought it'd be cool to cover it on this entertainment-based episode. And it's just amazing. I see little by little, Taylor and Travis keep making these small little steps that are so like significant in terms of like it being a short-term relationship and versus it being like a long-term thing. And I just think this is like one of those small steps in the right direction. Because like I said, again, like I just said a couple minutes ago, we've never seen Taylor allow a relationship to be so much in the public eye. Obviously, yeah, over the years when she's dated different people, like we've seen pictures of, paparazzi pictures of her going to a restaurant. And, that's the case with Travis too. They're spotted and they go out in New York and Florida, wherever it may be in LA. But this time is different because, yeah, we're seeing like these family type of things being posted. And yeah, I just thought it was super nice that Taylor and Travis showed up for his cousin's wedding in Knoxville. So yeah, guys, that's our first topic of this entertainment-based episode. Now we're gonna move on to one of Taylor's friends, and Sabrina Carpenter, one of the openers of the Eras tour. She's announced a brand new album is coming out in August, and the name of that album is Man's Best Friend. So earlier on Wednesday, I'm recording this Wednesday, June 11th at 4:55 p.m. Eastern time. On Wednesday morning, Sabrina went live on Instagram, and she was kind of, I guess, in some sort of room, maybe in her house or something, but she kind of showed like an image that had never really been seen before of her. So people felt like she was kind of teasing either like a brand new song, a new album, maybe a new vinyl edition of like Short and Sweet. And then it turns out a couple hours later, on that picture, she ended up announcing that it's a cover, the cover art of her brand new album coming out August 29th, Man's Best Friend. And, obviously Man's Best Friend refers to the dog, but obviously if you look at the picture, you could kind of tell what Sabrina's referencing to with that title. I'm not going to say it on here because it's kind of explicit, I guess, for kids in a way, just in case any kids out there listen. So if you guys want to go check it out, the picture yourself, I think you'll understand if you look at the picture. She posted it on her Instagram. We posted it on our Instagram as well at the flame_ES. So make sure to go check it out. And with that said, Sabrina did release a new single last week called Manchild. So that's officially the first single announced from this brand new album. Yes, obviously I know Manchild would eventually be on some sort of album, but I didn't know how soon, being that Short and Sweet wasn't released too long ago. She did her first leg of tour dates in the U.S. She's done some European tour dates, and she recently announced some more extra additional tour dates for the U.S. So now I'm wondering, with the announcement of this album and it being only 2 months away, that being that we're in June and it comes out August 29th, I wonder if she'll announce even more additional dates now that she's gonna have even more material and new music. And I'm really hoping that she decides to add some dates to Miami, or like some dates in Miami, because she hasn't, she hasn't come here on the short and sweet tour yet. So I'm hoping she comes at some point. That'll be really cool to be able to see her, perform in person. But yeah, guys, I'm really excited that Sabrina's already, working and planning to release new music as soon as possible. Basically, like I said, it hasn't been that long. The short and sweet's been out in general, so it's kind of shocking that she's already releasing a brand new album right away. But that said, I also find it smart because when you think of the success she's had within the past year or so, I just feel it's perfect to carry and ride that momentum rather than just have the momentum and then let it die down and then wait a year or two and then release new music. So I feel like Sabrina and her team are doing a great job in terms of helping her, carry the momentum and make it even higher than ever before. So yeah, I'm super excited for the brand new music coming from Sabrina. If you guys have any predictions in terms of titles or any songs that can relate to certain people, maybe that she's gonna do, because Sabrina, she's kind of known for that. A lot of her songs are kind of directed at people, kind of in a hidden way, but then her fans end up kind of putting the context clues together and figuring out who the song is about. So knowing Sabrina, there's probably gonna be some songs on this new album that are going to be directed at certain people, perhaps her most recent relationship and stuff like that. And yeah, the brand new single Manchild, I do want to point out Jack Antonoff was one of the writers on it with Sabrina. Of course, he wrote a lot of and produced a lot of the music on Short and Sweet, so I'm assuming he'll be part of a lot of more tracks on this upcoming album. But yeah, I'm super excited for it. You guys, like I said, have any predictions or any expectations or anything that comes to mind that you want to share with us, reach out to us on Instagram and TikTok at @theflame_es. And yeah, we'd love to, hear from you all. All right, guys. And for the final topic on this entertainment episode of the podcast, we're going to talk about Tires, the workplace comedy on Netflix. The first season, I believe, came out a year or two ago. I didn't see it till recently. Actually, till the last couple weeks, I began to watch it. I hadn't watched it before. The show stars Shane Gillis. He's one of the biggest, stand-up comics out there. I had heard that he had a show, but I kind of had forgot it. Then it popped up for me on Netflix. I watched season 1. I loved it. And then season 2 just came out last week, and I already finished it. And yeah, I wanted to talk about Tires because I'm a big comedy guy, and this show brings back that classic comedy that I like. It has a lot of vibes of The Office or like The Hangover, some of my favorite comedic shows and movies out there. And as time's gone on, I feel like comedy, like people are kind of afraid to do that sort of comedy, or, people criticize comedy now more than ever. So it was super refreshing to find a show made now that's actually, using classic comedy, not holding back, and just trying to make people laugh and have a good time watching it at the end of the day. And that's exactly what Tires provides. So if you're a big comedy fan, I highly recommend, you check out Tires on Netflix. Season 1 has 6 episodes, and then season 2 has 12 episodes. It also stars Steve Gerben, who plays Will. Shane and Steve are just an amazing comedic duo. I had never seen or heard of Steve Gerben before, and man, he is hilarious. He has a lot of vibes. It's kind of like a Michael Scott type of character. Then we have Chris O'Connor, who plays Kyle. We have Kyla Fox, who plays Kyla. Then the other main cast member is Stavros Halkias. He's a stand-up comic. He plays Dave on the show. And then in season 2, I actually added a couple new faces, and one of them, her name is Veronika Slowikowska. I hadn't heard of her. I looked her up. She's a stand-up comic. Andrew Schultz is on it, another big stand-up comic. He's on the first 2 seasons of the show. Then another guy I want to shout out, another stand-up comic, Joe DeRosa. I know who he is. I haven't seen him perform stand-up, but he used to have a podcast with Salvo Cano from Impractical Jokers, and it was called Taste Buds, and it was a really good podcast. Joe appeared in an episode or 2 of season 2 of Tires. And now I found out that he's been one of the writers for most of the episodes of the series so far. And it makes a lot of sense because I really enjoyed hearing Joe and Sal on their podcast. Putting it all together, it makes sense because Joe's a really funny guy. So yeah, that was just a, kind of short and sweet segment on Tires. But yeah, the thing is, I don't want to spoil it. And being that season 2 just came out last week, I want people to really take it all in and enjoy it. But with that said, once again, if you're a big comedy fan, make sure to check out Tires on Netflix. All right, guys, thank you so much for listening to this entertainment-based episode of the Flame Entertainment and Sports, where we covered Taylor and Travis attending a wedding in Tennessee. We covered the announcement of Sabrina Carpenter's new album. And then I gave some thoughts on Tires, the great comedy show on Netflix. Hope you guys enjoyed this episode. Make sure to keep up with us on Instagram and TikTok at @theflame_ES. Make sure to keep up with our continued NBA Finals coverage. We're recapping each game as I record this Wednesday, June 11th, 5:03 p.m. Tonight is Game 3 of the Finals, and we will definitely have a Finals recap coming your way after the game. And yeah, like I said, make sure to keep up with us on social media, on Instagram and TikTok at @theflame_ES, and as well on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, and Spotify. And with all that said, till next time, everyone, take care.